So I think merchandise planning has come a long way in Australia in the last 20 years. I moved here in 2001 and from South Africa. And at the time, I used to say, oh, goodness, I think planning's at least 10 years behind what I've just come from. But I do think it's come a long way since then. And I think, how on a graph, things can start off looking very like nothing's happening and then suddenly they hockey stick. And I think planning's probably in that stage of its maturity in Australia, or it's maturing in Australia. Because I think in some respects, the hardest part of the change has actually happened now over these past 20 years, in that it's moved from, we know we need planning, but we're not really sure what it is. And hoping maybe it's a silver bullet, and a number of the roles that I started off with, there wasn't a lot of definition around what the business wanted or needed from me. They were kind of counting on me to know that. And I think that that's really evolved a long way, where I think there is much more emphasis placed on planning. I think it's held in much higher regard in the business. I think it's on a more even footing with other functional areas. So I think that understanding of it being an important part of that overall retail team, I think that's all come a really long way. I think the part that still needs some finessing now is having people understand it more, understand what are all the parts of it. I think it is still a little bit of a black box, what goes on in planning. And that integration into the business, I think there's still a way to go with that. In terms of which retailers are doing it amazingly, look, I've not seen every business, but I have seen a lot of them. I don't think I would actually call anyone out by name as to who's doing an amazing job. I think different businesses have got different parts of it firing really well. But I don't think I've seen it really singing still in the same way that I experienced back in South Africa, where it was so much in the fabric of the business that it was just part of that rhythm, that everybody really understood the contribution that planning needed to make at each stage of the cycle. I don't actually think I've seen it come to life like that here yet, but it could be happening in an environment obviously that I've not been exposed to.